Shortstop, obviously, and Anthony Volpe, he just made his league-leading 13th error on the season. I think a lot of us we assume nothing's going to happen there at shortstop, at least in the short term.
It's important with Lombard, and I love Lombard, to remember that he's 20. He just got to Double-A, and he's hitting around 200. So you've got to give him some time. We have to remember that you've got someone in Volpe who basically did step-by-step very similar things to what Lombard is doing now. And Volpe is struggling right now. Now, that doesn't mean that Lombard's going to struggle in the same way, but we have to remember that we can't fall victim to the notion of the backup quarterback always being better than the starter. You gotta let him take some time here and not rush George to the major leagues right now. So I think this, and it maybe connects a bit to the conversation about Volpe. I agree with the premise that there's almost no player. Maybe I'll say it even more strongly. There's really no shortstop out there readily available at the deadline who I would describe as being comparable to Volpe when he's Volpe. Okay, when he is the player that he can be, that we have seen him be at the major leagues. There's not a frontline shortstop that's just there. The Jays are not going to trade Bo Bichette to the Yankees. That's not going to happen. Now, are there potential depth guys at shortstop who, depending on how significant these defensive woes become, might give you a little bit of stability there? Maybe a team, and again, it's unlikely that this team would help the Yankees in the circumstance. But the Rays do have some depth because Ha-Seong Kim has re-entered the active roster. Taylor Walls, excellent defender at short. Jose Caballero is a very good, versatile utility guy. They now have a surplus. The Rockies actually have a surplus at the position. These are not frontline players, but the idea is now that, again, Volpe's way down in the lineup, if you're just trying to get defensive stability, there are probably guys out there who could just give you catch the ground ball, make the throw kind of stability while Volpe figures this out. It just seems like things have sped up. And again, it's not easy to play in New York, especially not when you're from just the other side of the river and it feels like everybody from your second grade classmates to your chemistry teacher are all watching and pressurizing these moments. So I empathize with what Anthony's going through in that respect. But if they do want to add in some defensive certainty, there are players out there, but no one really of the name recognition of the guy they've already got right now in Anthony Volpe.
Yeah, John, and what worries people, of course, is when you talk about depth and maybe getting a player who can do what they're looking for, a guy who can field the ball, throw the ball, and maybe hitting is not his thing, a depth piece. Well, also when you look at Volpe, he's playing every day, right? They're not sitting him at all. They're not necessarily using guys who are good defensive shortstop maybe in their system. They're not using him in that way. So that's what worries people.